studio right now and smell those beautiful rosemary potato, you would love it. Hi there, how are you? I am Jean Pierre, your host on Sunshine Cuisine. Today I have a beautiful menu for you. I am going to roast a little filet mignon and I'm going to prepare with a wild mushroom and veal glaze. I'm going to serve that with my rosemary potato. And for dessert, I am going to prepare the most unbelievable chocolate cake you've ever had in your life. And I mean it. It is the most incredible chocolate cake you've ever had in your life. It only takes 2, 3, 4 minutes to prepare, 7 minutes to cook, and boy, you're going to take 30 seconds to eat it. It's so unbelievable. Let me start immediately with the potato. Let me show you how I got those beautiful round little balls. Very simple. I take the potatoes and I'm using a melon cutter. I'm sure you've seen those before. You can find them in your grocery store or you can find them in your specialty kitchen store. Now what you do, you take a potato, you peel it and you put it in water. You keep it in water, then it won't turn black on you. And you take the melon cutter and you put it nice and flat and you press down. And as you press down, you turn and you make a nice little bowl. And here it is. Look how simple it is to make it a potato bowl. Now, if you don't have one of those and you really want to make those potatoes, you can do it too. All you need to do is just cut the potato all evenly, the same size little square, so then they will cook nicely and evenly together. Keep them in water until you're ready to cook them. Make sure you dry them. Don't be putting a wet potato into a hot fry pan. Fry pan is just a little butter, little olive oil, fresh rosemary. Let them cook, but please, whatever you do, put a cover on it. The whole idea is to capture the steams, so then you have some heat in the bottom of the fry pan, and the steam creates a nice effect so the potatoes are nice and moist and not dry. Wonderful, easy to do. We'll let them cook. Let's get on right away with our filet mignon, which I am going to do in the oven. Let me start my fry pan right here. And I am going to go, let me just put a touch of butter, very little. I'm not measuring it. You can see it's a little bit of butter. I'm going to do it for one. I'm going to make the sauce for two, but I'm going to make the filet mignon just for one. You just watch. If you have 2 people, put 2, 3, 4, however many people you have. It's very simple to make. A little filet mignon. This is really a tenderloin steak. That's what it is. We call it the filet mignon, but it's really a tenderloin steak. Very simple to find. You find that in most butcher shop or even every grocery store has a nice butcher department and order a filet mignon. Now, I recommend that you use, you see this one is very small. It's a small tenderloin. I don't like to use a big one because you'll see I'm going to cut it in 4 pieces and it's much nicer when it's a smaller one. So this one is very small. I took the chain off. Everything is clean. Everything here is eatable. You can eat it. It's very easy to eat. There's no fat in it. As a matter of fact, this is the leanest part of the beef. Very lean, so if you are watching the fat, this is perfect to eat. Now, I'm going to sear the moisture. You know how I insist all the time, then you sear the moisture no matter what it is and you cook. You must sear the moisture on the inside. It's very important. We're going to put some salt and pepper. You know, I love to use the freshly cracked black pepper, so I did it right here. You know, I have a little trick. I should have brought it with me then when you see it. You know what I cracked that with to make it nice and big like that? I have an old coffee grinder. You know those old one? I'll bring it next time and you'll see it. It's an old coffee grinder. You find them in coffee shop. And that gives you a nice big ground because the regular pepper meal gives you too fine of a pepper. So I like that. So anyway, let me put a little pepper in here and a little salt. Very little, just on the outside. But you see what that does also? The pepper, you know, you might think it's too peppery. Oh, it's not peppery at all because of the way I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut it so thin so then you won't eat all that pepper at once. And it gives you a beautiful crust on the outside. Okay, now, make sure your butter is nice and hot because if your butter is nice and hot, you will be able to create the effect that I'm talking about, which is searing. I have a little piece of shallots in here. Let me remove it. You will be able to see all the moisture on the inside. Don't ever put anything in the oven, please, without searing it. Otherwise, it'll be all dry. Everything is going to run out. All that beautiful juice will run out in your fry pan and it'll be gone forever. But if you sear nice the way we're going to do it here, oh, not only does that create a nice flavor, you see, when you do it like that, you're not just searing the moisture, but it creates a beautiful beautiful crust on the outside that has a flavor like it's incredible. It's very important. Then as soon as everything you do, a roast, a veal chop, especially a veal chop. If you're going to do a veal chop, then please also sear the outside. And all you do is that, put a little butter and oil. The reason why I put a little oil in there is because the oil has a more tolerance to the heat. And what it does, it increase, let me make sure. It increase the tolerance for the butter, and the butter will not burn. That's why I'm putting it. And see, otherwise, if you just put butter like that, it could burn. So we don't want that to burn. But you see, I'm doing it just for a couple of minutes. Very, very simple. Just enough to have a nice little crust. And then I'm going to make the sauce. Oh, wait till you see how simple it is. But the best, the highlight of my show today is, that is wonderful. But wait until my chocolate cake. Everybody wants my recipe for that chocolate cake. It's incredible. You have to tape the show because this is going to be an incredible cake. You are going to love it. Okay, now I have my oven going. I'm going to go to the oven. I have the oven going already. I have preset it. 450 degrees, and I'm going to put that filet in there. I'm going to put that fry pan right here because I don't need it anymore. I have a pan already in my oven, and I'm going to let my filet mignon just roast for about 6-7 minutes. I like it medium rare. I don't know about you. What do you do? Medium rare is nice. Oh, beautiful. When it's filet mignon like that, eat a medium rare. You love it. Okay, let me go on now with my sauce. Very simple. We are going to make a wild mushroom. Now, I have some shiitake, I have some portobello, and I have some cremini. But you can put oyster mushroom, you can put whichever one you want, but put a little different kind. Don't just use a regular mushroom. I mean, of course, you can use a regular mushroom if you want, but it's so much nicer with wild mushroom, so much more flavor. Different textures, different flavor, very important. Now, we're going to put a little bit, where is my tongue? Let me see, here it is. We're going to put a little bit of butter, same principle. We're cooking with the same principle right here in that dish. A little bit of oil, and we're going to get that hot. Now I'm going to put some shallots in there. It's a very important sauce with shallots, and it's not minced shallot. This time the shallots are cut a little bit differently. You know normally how I do it. Let me peel this one a little bit better because it's not very well peeled. Here it is. Now, you know normally I mince the shallots, but this time I'm not going to mince. Let me put that here a minute while I show you how to do the shallots. See, this time I'm not mincing them. I'm cutting them in pieces. You see now, some of you might do it. Oh boy, he's showing off again how to do the knife. Now I'm doing it slowly. I want to show you how to use the knife. Very simple. You remember, put your knife against the first knuckle and push with your thumb. I can't say thumb too good. So anyway, we're pushing right here. And we're going over here. I'm putting nice slices. And I'm going to put that in my pot. I was laughing because my producer is always telling me, you don't pronounce the thing properly. Well, it's not that easy, you know. So I'm sweating my shallots. You know, remember, I say it all the time, but I'm going to repeat it until every one of you out there understand. And as long as you understand, and when you cook with the shallots, you must sweat them. That means sweating the beautiful juice out of them. So that's what we're doing right now. We're sweating them, making sure they open up and release all the beautiful fragrance. Okay, we're going to do it until they are a little bit golden brown. Not much, actually, translucent is enough. And then I'm going to put some balsamic vinegar. Now, I insist that you put balsamic vinegar. Now, balsamic vinegar has such a pungent sweetness to it. It's such a wonderful, wonderful vinegar. Now, as you can see right here, I am making sure that the vinegar is almost completely evaporated before I add my mushroom. Now, I have about here, that's about a quarter pound of mushroom, and I'm going to just saute them for a minute. Oh, mamma mia, I got to go and check my filet mignon, making sure that it's, I see you go, it's cooking good, very, very, very good. Oh, yes, everything is fine. Make sure temperature is good in here. Yeah, bag, fine. Okay, let me put it at 450, eh? Okay, now, what am I doing here? Oh, the mushrooms are wonderful. They are sweating. Ooh, let me see my potatoes. Oh, yeah, my potatoes are fine. Let me make sure on the potato, because I want to add at the last minute on the potatoes, I'm going to add some garlic and parsley. That's my mother's signature. Ooh. Well, you know, she puts garlic everywhere. Okay, now my mushroom has sweat enough. Now I'm going to add a port wine, half a cup of port wine. And once again, I am going to reduce. You know, every time I say reduce, I explain. Some of you have seen my show before, so you know I'm already repeating myself. But some of you might not have seen it before, so I gotta tell you, reduce means reducing in volume. If I start with a half a cup, I'm gonna reduce down to a quarter cup. What that will do, that will burn the alcohol and that will intensify the flavor and the sweetness of the port wine. So that's what I'm doing right now. And here I'm putting about 3/4 cup of veal stock. You're gonna say, I don't want veal stock. Well, you know, it's not that difficult to make a veal stock. We're gonna do a show just on stock one day and you'll see how easy it is to do. If you don't have it, use a nice bouillon, a nice beef bouillon, and reduce it down. If you don't have that, you can even try with chicken stock. It wouldn't be quite as good, but you can try it. Okay, now I'm gonna add a little bit of green peppercorn, very little green peppercorn. Now those you can find in your specialty store. They come in a can, like in a glass jar like that, or they come in a can. They are from Madagascar and they are in white wine vinegar. Wonderful, you must use those. Let's balance the sauce with a little salt. Let's balance the sauce with a little more of the cracked black pepper, not very much, and let that reduce. When that is reducing, it's going to reduce at high. I am going to finish my potato real quick. Here's what I'm going to do to the potato. Remember, I'm going to put a touch of garlic. I'm going to put 1 teaspoon of fresh minced garlic. And don't use any powder, please, whatever you do. Now, a little bit of parsley or cilantro. Wonderful at the end, just a little bit. Oh, if you could be here and smell the beautiful fragrance of this, the rosemary and the garlic and the olive oil together, those potatoes, you're going to love them. They are wonderful. Let me make sure everything is reducing nice. Everything is going just fine. Now I am ready to go to the oven and pick up my meat. It's almost ready. Let's go over here. Well, here we are. Oh, yes. Ready to perfection now. Oh, let me turn that off before it starts beeping at me all the time. I'm ready to go now with my filet mignon. Oh, yes. It's going to be a nice medium rare. I love it nice and medium rare that way. Now, I am going to first, let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to first prepare my plates. Wait till you see how simple it is to do. You take a little and put it right in the middle of the plate. Now remember, this is not a heavy sauce now. This is a nice, we call it a glaze, a veal glaze. You remember the old-fashioned sauces that you used to make years ago with a lot of flour, a lot of butter, a lot of cream. Those don't have it now. Of course, if you want it even enhance the flavor, you can put a little butter in there, but you don't need to. Now, we're going to cut this filet mignon in 4. Ooh, I love it that way. I love it nice. Let me hold it nice and tight. I love it nice, medium rare. I hope you like it the same way that I do. And if you want to cook it a little more, just leave it a little bit longer. That's all. Now, we're going to put this medallion, forgive my finger here, right here. 1 medallion. And we're going to put, forgive my fingers here, 2 medallions. And we're going to put another medallion here. So it's so tender, then it falls apart. And beautiful for the medallions. Now let's take the potatoes. Oh yeah, holy macaroni. If you could smell this beautiful flavor than those potatoes have right now, it's unbelievable. Look at that. Beautiful. Now remember now, on Sunshine Cuisine, we take the time to organize everything nice and pretty. Very, very important. Now you can put a little more potatoes if you want. That's okay. Now, let's take a couple of asparagus spear that I have prepared and cut just the head of it. Just the end of it. You see? And organize it nice and neat. Remember now, it's very, very important to organize everything and to plan how you're going to decorate your plate. If you could be here and smell this beautiful flavor that comes out of this plate, it's absolutely wonderful.
Filet mignon with wild mushrooms and rosemary potatoes. The filet mignon starts with 4 filet mignon, 6 to 8 ounces each, 1 teaspoon of butter, 1 teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil, salt and black pepper to taste. The mushrooms contain 4 tablespoons of butter, 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, 2 chopped shallots, 1 tablespoon of balsamic vinegar, 1/2 pound of mushrooms, 1/2 cup of port wine, 1 cup of veal stock, 1 tablespoon of green peppercorn, salt and black pepper to taste. For the rosemary potatoes, we begin with 1 1/2 pounds of potatoes cut into 3/4 inch round pieces, 1 tablespoon of butter, 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, 1 sprig of rosemary, 1 teaspoon of minced garlic, and parsley or cilantro.